Good afternoon, Year 6, and welcome to today's history lesson, where we're going to continue to look at Britain since the 1930s. And we're going to be looking at holidays today. Now, if you've got to think about this, obviously in the 1930s and onwards, plane travel wasn't a huge thing. You couldn't just get onto a plane and go to the nearest holiday destination. You would have been staying in your own country, okay, where for most people. Now, we're going to be looking today at the changes in how people spend their holidays from today and modern times back into those early times. Now then, this is Billy Butlin. And Billy Butlin is very, very famous in the UK because he set up the first holiday camps in Britain for families. So it was the first one to do it, and they are still going today. Okay, there's still Butlin sites across the UK as we speak. Now, in 1939, a law was passed that every working person in the UK was entitled, so they were allowed to have 1 week's paid holiday. So they would get paid, but they wouldn't have to go to work for that week. Now, obviously, today we have more weeks than that, okay? Different countries have different amounts of time, but generally you get about 3 to 4 weeks holiday nowadays, where you're still paid. So this was the first time that people were really allowed to take time off work and still be paid for it. So Billy Butlin set up these camps where you could pay 1 week's salary to be able to go to his camp, and there'd be lots of activities going on and food would be provided. Now, this meant that people could suddenly afford to go on holiday for a week. So here's a little video telling you all about Billy Butlin and about his holiday camps. So pay close attention, because this is what your task is relating to today.
Back in 1938, an Act of Parliament demanded that every factory worker must have a week's paid holiday each year. Billy Butlin proposed to swap the workers' families a week's play for a week's pay. In 1939, 50,000 happy campers took him up on the offer.
With its aim to bring colour and happiness to British families, Butlins has continued to deliver since Sir Billy Butlin opened the very first holiday camp in 1936. Families flocked for poolside fun and frolics, and the resort quickly became one of Britain's best-loved holidays.
If I go back to 1936, one of the main attractions on the entertainment programme was an outdoor swimming pool. It was a focal point for the entertainment, what was going on in that period. So the outdoor pool was very important, but it needed something else. Early 50s, all the resorts what were operational at the time, he built an indoor swimming pool. And on either side of the longest length of the swimming pool, he had glass windows, viewing windows. And it wasn't until the 80s where we had to start seriously thinking about putting something more into those pools. So what we did, we added fun things like a water fountain and slides, flumes.
Skegness, the first Butlins resort, also led the way in swimming terms with its 1930s outdoor pool.
So when we relate to the swimming pools and what activities they got up to in those pools, I mean, a swimming girl was not just swimming the length of a pool breaststroke. You would have a diving competition. We had three-legged races. Can you imagine tying your partner's leg together, jumping in and out of the deep end, swimming the length of the pool? I mean, it was quite frightening. The tub race, it was a team relay. So one person got in with a paddle and paddled the breadth of the pool, and then the next person jumped in the tub. Well, you can imagine these things were tipping over there. Wonderful fun, though. They all got involved.
So I hope you enjoyed that little video and got a bit more information about what Butlins was really like at those times. Now then, as we move on to foreign holidays. So have a little think, what do you think is missing from here? Butlins holiday camps were very popular until the 1960s, when more and more people started to travel abroad for their holidays. And in 1971, 6.7 million people travelled abroad for their holidays. By 2005, this had rose to 66.4 million people. Spain has long been the most popular destination for holidays in the UK, most people travelling by, of course, plane. Also, because more people owned cars in the 1960s, camping and caravanning became more popular. Now, Butlins is still popular today, okay, but of course most people can now afford to go abroad on their holidays, and it's much, much easier, okay? And I've got another little clip for you showing what the first sort of foreign holidays would have been like, especially on a cruise ship. So sit back, enjoy this next little video clip before we go on to today's task. So hopefully that helps you understand the difference between holidays back in the 1930s to 1960s, and then going onwards a little bit more. Okay, there's a very, very big difference between then and now. Now, your tasks for today, you need to think about what you would like to see at holiday camp, and there are 4 areas that you will need to be thinking about. So that's food and drink, games, competitions, and entertainment. So remember that this is in the mid-1900s, so there's no technology. And think realistically, would they really have had loads of bottles of Coca-Cola? Would they really have had crisps for their tea? Okay, so really have a little think, okay? And you're going to have to complete the task 1 sheet, coming up with your own different ideas. I'm looking for at least 7 or 8 ideas in each box, not just 1 or 2, okay? So that first task should take you about 15 minutes. And then you've got task number 2, which is to design a poster for your own holiday camp. Again, thinking about what you planned in task 1. So what you've put into these different areas here, start trying to put that into your poster to show off your holiday camp, okay? Again, nice across middle. Butlins holidays, okay? Try and come up with something that grabs people's attention. Of course, you can use computers to do this, or you could use your own piece of paper and your own drawing skills, okay? The choice is yours. And then there are some optional tasks here. If you want to take it a little bit further, you are more than welcome to do so. And your optional tasks for today, 1 is to create a map of your park, showing where different things will be placed. Don't forget to add the accommodation. Or you could create a 30-second radio advert for your park. So what would you say in those 30 seconds to advertise it to others? Imagine it's being played over the wireless, everyone's getting to listen to it. What would you say to them in 30 seconds to try and convince them to park that 1 week's money, okay, to come to your holiday camp? So, Year 6, as always, thank you very much. If you need any help, send me a message and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Have a wonderful session, Year 6. Thank you very much.